The year was in its closing hours, and the Dogs came out fired up to play against Drake at the arena. The Saluki defense helped Drake to one basket early in the game, but the Bulldogs rallied to a 22-21 halftime lead. The Dogs continued to struggle after the break. Then Bryan Mullins began an 11-1 SIU run. Jamaal finished off the run with a slam dunk off an inbound pass from Tony Young. With the win, the Dogs extended their home court winning streak to 29. Now the Salukis face the Bulldogs on their turf and hope to win a W against this tough Valley contender.
From the Knapp Center on the campus of Drake University, it's Missouri Valley Conference basketball as the Salukis travel to take on the Drake Bulldogs. I'm Mike Trude. Matt Bierman's alongside, and Chris Hagstrom will join us on the sidelines in a few moments. Exciting basketball. The Salukis at 12-3 and 5-0 are on the road against Drake, who's 3-3 in the conference. They're a dangerous ball club, but the Salukis have done it so far, Matt, with defense, defense, defense.
That's right, Mike. Defense is the key word in that. They haven't given up more than 55 points in this 10-game winning streak that they've had. Not only that, they ranked 4th in the nation with only 54.7 points allowed per game.
The Salukis are the only team in the conference without a loss. Everybody else has at least 2. So this 3-game road trip could be very critical if Southern could get some wins.
Could be very critical if Southern gets some wins, and if they can find a way to pull out all 3, they'll be sitting pretty when they come back home to play Illinois State.
All right, it's the Salukis and Bulldogs from Drake. We'll have the starting lineups for you when we return to Des Moines right after these messages. Your area Anheuser-Busch distributors, B&G Venegoni Distributing, Golden Eagle Distributing, and Venegoni Orel Distributing, LLC, and by SI Cosmetic and Family Dentistry. It's time now for the starting lineups for tonight's basketball game between the Salukis and Bulldogs of Drake. Southern Illinois comes in with a record of 12-3, winners of 10 in a row, and 5-0 in the Missouri Valley Conference. They will go this way. We'll start with Drake. We'll go with Southern. Tony Young and Jamaal Tatum and Bryan Mullins at the guard spots with Randal, Falker, and Matt Shaw playing underneath. Tony Young, Matt, has been unbelievable lately.
Yeah, he's really been unbelievable once the Missouri Valley play has started. He leads the team at 16.8 points per game playing in the Valley. That's only second to Blake Ahern's in Missouri State, who has 18 a game.
Drake comes in with a record of 10-7, 3-3 in the Missouri Valley Conference. They also will go with a 3-guard lineup. Sean Brooks, Al Stewart, and Nick Grant. A.J. Calvin, a very talented junior college transfer, will also get a start, and a redshirt walk-on freshman, Jonathan Cox, is starting in place of Alou Keita, and that's a switch Drake made a couple of games ago, and they like what Jonathan Cox gives them in the starting lineup.
That's right, Mike. He's averaging over 7 points a game for them, and being a walk-on, that's even more amazing.
All right, it's the Drake Bulldogs and the Salukis from Southern Illinois. Southern already has one road win this year, a game at Indiana State. They defeated this Drake Bulldog team 64-50 on New Year's Eve day back in Carbondale just about 10 days ago. So we are ready for action. There's Jamaal Foster, there's Randal Falker getting ready for this one. Southern on the first game of a 3-game road trip. They play tonight in Des Moines, Monday night in Cedar Falls, as you get a good look at Saluki head coach Chris Lowry. And then next Thursday, they travel to Springfield, Missouri to take on the Missouri State Bears. So a very, very tough stretch for the Salukis. Not too many teams in the Valley have a 3-game road trip like this difficult. So we'll see how they do. And there's Tom Davis, the longtime legendary coach at the University of Iowa, talked out of retirement by Dave Blank, the athletic director here at Drake University. And Dr. Tom has come in and rejuvenated this Drake program. Although they haven't had winning seasons yet, they're playing much better.
They are playing much better, Mike. He's got 568 career wins, which is 9th all-time in Division I head coaches.
We are about ready to tip it off. It's Jonathan Cox going against Randal Falker. The Salukis in the maroon with the black and white trim, the white numbers. Drake in the home white with the blue trim and the blue numbers. J.D. Collins, the head referee, will toss it up at center, and we are underway. And it goes off of Matt Shaw. So Drake will start with the basketball. Southern in that tough man-to-man, as Matt told you in the pregame show, holding teams under 55 points per game. Number 4 in the country. Drake averages a lot of points per game, but against the Salukis, only scored 50 in Carbondale. Knocked out of bounds by the Bulldogs.
That's right, Mike. Drake averages 75 points a game, first in the Missouri Valley Conference.
And the Salukis get it on the turnover. So very first offensive possession by the Bulldogs, and they turn it over. Southern worked on this press of Drake for almost 35 minutes yesterday in their practice here at the Knapp Center. That's Bryan Mullins. They break the pressure, and it's token pressure. Drake will go for steals occasionally, but more times than not, they just want to hassle you the whole game, trying to speed you up offensively. Jamaal Tatum. Tony Young from the corner, and you can't give him open looks. Young with a 3. That's Tony's 29th three-pointer of the season.
Starting off the game the right way, Mike.
That's Stewart. All the way back out top to Jonathan Cox. And Southern wants Drake to try to force them to start their offense way out. Follow by Stewart is good.
Nice follow-up by Stewart there, not giving up on the play.
And Tony Young traveling in the backcourt. Turnover, Southern, each team with a turnover. Here it is the replay, and watch Stewart come in, and nobody checked him off to get the rebound for the basket. 2-2 just underway here in Des Moines. Mullins with the steal, and he turns it right back over. Tatum beaten on the baseline, get it to Calvin, blocked. Jonathan Cox gets it. Nobody's covering Jonathan Cox. Now Falker has to come out on him. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Cox for 3, way short, rebound again. Nobody checks off the guard, and this time Nick Grant gets the rebound bucket.
Nice play by Nick Grant, you have to block out.
2 offensive rebounds, 4 points for Drake. Drake into man, we'll see zone, we'll see a lot of zone, we'll see a lot of man. Falker with a great pass from Bryan Mullins.
Mike, that was a nice roll off the screen that Falker set there. Mullins gave him the dish and he slammed it home.
4-4. There's the trap, Mullins kicks it. And Drake maintains possession. Chris Lowry, 12-3 this year. Didn't like the team after Alaska, made some changes. As you see Randal Falker slamming it down, and it's been all defense since they got back from Alaska.
That's right, Mike.
There's the double team. Kick it back out to Calvin. Short jumper, no, again an offensive rebound. Finally, Southern gets a defensive rebound.
This is very uncharacteristic of the Salukis right now, Mike.
Southern has numbers. Feed to Falker, who scores.
Well, they're finding some room right there with Falker right now.
Southern leads at 7-4. Stewart to Tracy. Cox with it, Falker on him. Goes baseline, shut off. 10 on the shot clock. Baseline again, Cox short jumper, no, rebound, Tony Young on the weak side. Southern brings it up quickly in the front court. Tatum. Reverse is good, and Southern has started out very well in this basketball game, 9-4. to the corner, and Grant swinging all the way around the other side to Calvin. Knocked out of bounds by Jamaal Tatum, and Southern is getting after it defensively. Alukita comes into the game. Here's Tatum on the reverse, Matt.
That was a beautiful play right there. He switched hands there as he crossed over the other side of the rim and just laid it in.
Salukis make some changes as well. Clemens, Boyle, and Jamaal Foster check into the lineup. Alukita came in for the Drake Bulldogs, as did Brent Heemskirk, a 6'7" sophomore out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Southern with a great start early on. That's Heemskirk. Shot clock is at 15. We're just ahead of a media timeout. Shot clock is down to 10. Stewart penetrates, goes in, scores, and is fouled. He went through 4 Salukis on the way to the basket and got the bucket to fall.
That was a nice play by him. He just went in, drove in, and laid it in right there.
15:54 left to go in the first half. It's the Salukis 9, the Drake Bulldogs 6. That basket by Stewart counted. We'll be back after this. Chris Hagstrom is on the sidelines tonight. Chris, what do you got?
Well, Mike, I had a chance to talk to Jack Owens earlier today, the assistant coach for the Salukis. He gave a little bit of a scouting report on the Bulldogs. You've already seen we're going to see a full court press out of the Bulldogs as well as a 3-2 defense. What the Salukis have got to do is use their heavy pressure offense and their speed to push through them and put the legs like they have. Mike, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Al Stewart is going to be at the free throw line. The junior out of Chicago, 5'10" junior, will try to complete the conventional three-point play on the season, hitting free throws at a 75% clip, 45 out of 60. That's good.
Next with the old-fashioned three-point play.
Back to a two-point game. Wesley Clemens got to get it in. He does to Mullins. Bryan will push it. Drake now goes zone. Tony Young, corner, jumper, no good. Rebound to Heemskirk. And here come the Bulldogs with a chance to tie. Heemskirk with it. To Keita. Sean Tracy, baseline, travels with the basketball. No, they're going to call a foul.
Yeah, they're going to call that one on Tony Young, I think, right there. He got in the way of him.
They got Wesley Clemens. His first. Second team foul on the Salukis. Keita with it down low. Misses the shot. Rebound to Wesley Clemens. They forced Keita out of his comfort zone that time into a bad shot. Salukis still lead it. Jamaal Tatum came back in for Bryan Mullins. Clemens. Tatum now working on the zone. Wesley for 3. Yes, Wesley Clemens hits a 3.
Nice way to show a nice stroke right there by Wesley Clemens, getting the 3 to go down.
His 10th 3 of the year. Tatum covering Stewart out near the half-court circle. .15 on the shot clock. Chris Bryant gets a shot at the elbow. No. Rebound controlled by Keita. Southern getting killed early on the offensive boards.
That's the 5th offensive rebound for Drake already, Mike.
Inside to Heemskirk. Second chance points are huge, or Drake might not have any buckets in the game.
That's right, something you don't see very often. Another team having more offensive rebounds than Southern does defensive.
12-9. Southern working against this zone. It's a matchup zone. Jamaal to Tony, 4-3 short. Foster pushed off to get the rebound on Brett Heemskirk.
And Mike, this 3-2 zone that Drake likes to play, they like to put a lot of pressure inside on the big men as well.
Here's Keita with the nice handoff to Sean Tracy. who handed it to Heemskirk for the bucket on the other end.
Third team foul.
Adam Emmenecker now in the ball game for Drake. They'll play as many as 12 people in the game. They like bringing fresh bodies in all the time, and there's a foul on Matt Shaw.
That one might have been a little bit questionable. It looked like the Drake player pushed off there, but
Foul on number 32, Matt Shaw, is first.
Inbounding the ball will be Chris Bryant to Emmenecker. Emmenecker's a sophomore out of Saginaw, Michigan. And Tony Young with a steal. And layup.
nice job by Tony right there. Called by somebody, the Secretary of Defense, nice lane.
Tony's got 5, Southern leads by 5, 14-9. 13:06 left to go in the first half. Double team by Shaw. And he traveled with the basketball. It's too bad because he threw it right to Tony Young, who would have had a layup. And that's going to take Emmenecker out of the game, and very quickly Al Stewart comes back in. There's the steal by Tony.
Nice job by Tony, just getting in there, getting aggressive, and just laying the ball right in there.
So Southern leads it by 5, 14-9. Here it is again. In slow motion, Tony just lays it up over the rim.
Almost got there for the dunk, Mike, but just couldn't quite get it.
Oh, he could have. He just didn't want it. Jamaal Tatum, top of the key, way too strong. And Keita clears the boards. Here comes Stewart. And a foul on Alou Keita.
Interesting note about Keita, Mike, he speaks 4 different languages. He speaks French, English, Wolof, as well as other languages as well. It's pretty amazing.
He speaks 4, you and I barely speak English.
That's right.
And Keita is now talking things over with the referee to find out exactly what he did wrong. I don't know what language he was talking to him in, but it's still a foul. Tatum. It's nice to have a Jamaal Tatum, a Bryan Mullins, a Tony Young, all who can bring the ball up against pressure.
That's right, Mike. In that last game that Mullins had against Evansville, he had 9 assists as well.
Jamaal gets to the free throw line, goes up and scores. Nice move by Jamaal once he got into the lane, and Southern leads it by 7. Mullins is going to check in next opportunity. Drake's going to bring 3 more people into the game. Heemskirk to the other side. Chris Bryant for 3. No. Rebound controlled by Randal Falker.
Nice shot by Falker there just to block him out.
Under 12 minutes to go, so next break stoppage will be another media timeout. Southern trying to build on the 7-point lead. Falker top of the key to Tony Young. To Matt Shaw for 3. No. Goes off of Sean Tracy, and the Salukis will get the ball when we come back. 11:40 left to go in the half. 16-9 Salukis on the board. We'll be back after this.
Trivia question. Today's trivia contestant is Jeff Buford.
With Matt Bierman and Chris Hagstrom, it's Mike Trude back in Des Moines. 16-9, the Salukis lead this one over the Bulldogs. First Cellular of Southern Illinois, a local company helping domestic violence victims and their families through the Call to Protect program. Details at your area First Cellular location or online at firstcellular.com. And join us Monday at 7 for our next telecast of Saluki basketball as we continue following the Dogs on their 3-game road swing. We'll bring you all the game action, updates from the sideline, and a special halftime report. It's the Salukis in Northern Iowa, Monday at 7 on WSIU Public Television. A couple of other scores from Missouri Valley Conference play. Finals, Evansville lost at Bradley 90-62. Northern Iowa won at Illinois State 67-52. Just underway at Wichita, it's the Shockers over Missouri State 12-2. In NFC divisional playoff action, Seattle defeated Washington 20-10. Salukis to trigger it. Clemens lobs it in to Randal Falker. Salukis got a new shot clock after it was knocked out of bounds by Tracy. Shaw gets it out to Wesley. Had Tatum on a curl but couldn't get it to him. Mullins gets it back. And a three from Tatum is short. Rebound to Randal Falker. And now Southern's doing it on the offensive glass.
That's right, nice hustle right there. You can already see what Southern's trying to do, getting Falker to roll off the screens, trying to get him some extra points in there.
Salukis, Randal wanted to get the lob to Matt Shaw. 18 on the shot clock. Tatum beats Tracy baseline, kicks it out to Shaw. Clemens wide open, top of the key, way strong. And rebound controlled by Jonathan Cox. Good look, just didn't fall. Sean Tracy, nobody picked him up. Misses, rebound by Matt Shaw. Here comes Tatum. To Wesley Clemens, to the glass for two.
Nice fast break right there. Tatum taking charge and giving it to Clemens, and he just lays the ball right in there.
Southern leads it by 9. Very interesting halftime feature coming for you. Former Saluki Sports Information Director Fred Huff wrote a book on the history of Saluki athletics on the men's side, and we have a feature coming up on Fred.
That'll be nice, and here you see this nice replay here. Clemens laying the ball in after that fast break that Tatum dished to him. Good job by Salukis getting up the court, and you saw some more defensive pressure by Clemens right here. Almost had another steal.
Chris Lowry, Rodney Watson, not sure how the team would come out today. Well, here's your answer. They're up 9. It's 18-9. Stewart, double team, gets it all the way over to Heemskirk. Grant. They got Heemskirk at 6'7", way out near the half-court circle. Now 8, Calvin AJ Calvin has it. He's got 2 first names, Calvin and AJ.
Good hustle by the Saluki defense here.
Shot clock winding down. Grant has it. It's at 5. Pull up, short. Shaw with the rebound. And Drake can't buy a good look even. Salukis are smothering with defense. Tatum. To the corner and Mullins. Drake now has to go back to the man. Tony Young, 15 on the shot clock. Matt Shaw to the hoop for 2.
Nice move right there. Just went right past the defender, laid the ball in.
A lot of wide open lanes for the Salukis getting layups. 20-9 the score. Stewart. Ooh, they're going to call Bryan Mullins for the hand check.
And you can expect those type of things with this tough defense that SIU has. They're going to get fouls like that every once in a while. As you can see, though, right here, Matt Shaw driving in past Jonathan Cox there. Good job.
Sean Brooks will kick it in to Jacob Berrienbrook. Doesn't play very often, but this is all part of the strategy of Dr. Tom Davis. Grant to Berrienbrook. Swinging it around the side. Grant, baseline, charges right into Jamaal Tatum. What a great charge.
Nice job by Jamaal just to take one for the team right there. That's total dedication right there. There's no glory in taking a charge like that. Nice job to get planted. Just sticks right there. He's not going to leave until he goes down to the ground. They call a foul on Drake.
Lob into Matt Shaw. Southern's had no problems breaking the pressure. And they're trying to add to the 11-point lead. Tatum. Boy, the lane is wide open.
It is.
Falker. And no. Thought it was going to go down for an and 1. But he'll get 2 free throws. Again, a nice feed inside. And the middle is wide open for the Salukis on offense.
The middle has been wide open when Drake's gone to man-to-man. Then they've gone to 3-2 zones when they've tried to clog up that middle, but they can't really play them very well.
Randal can't get it to fall, and don't be surprised. He only shoots them at a 46% clip. 16 out of 36 now for the year.
Definitely not Matt Shaw numbers. Matt Shaw averages about 88%.
And that's about 1 out of 2. But it's 21-9, 12-point lead. This is Berrienbrook bringing it up against Bryan Mullins. There's the double team. Steps through. And now Drake tries to start their offense. It's Nick Grant now. Tom Davis just keeps screaming, it's a foul, it's a foul. It's not a foul until the official blows the whistle, folks. Berrienbrook for 3, yeah! about that?
Nice shot by Barronbrook right there.
That's Drake's first points in a long time.
That's right.
Nice split by Jamaal Tatum. Tony, a quick pop-up three. No. He did not get the timeout. Saluki basketball.
Nice break for the Salukis right there. Before the game, Tony Young was draining about all the threes. He's been pretty good from three-point land. He's about 40%.
It's an official timeout on the floor. 7:44 remaining in the half. The Salukis lead it 21-12. It'll be their ball when we come back. Welcome back to the Knapp Center. Southern leads it 21-12, 7:44 left to go in the first half. Support provided by the SIU Alumni Association. Members can receive free admission, hot dog, and soda at the Saluki women's basketball game against Drake on January 21st at the arena by presenting their alumni membership card at the arena entrance. Call 618-453-2408 for more information. Back over to our sideline reporter and Chris Hagstrom. Chris?
Well, Mike, I also had a chance to talk to Brad Korn earlier. He told me about Austin Brooks' situation. He had a little bit of a groin injury a few games ago, but he is on the sidelines. He has suited up, and he will play if needed. They will not use him if they don't, but you never know in this game. Mike, back to you.
Austin Brooks worked out both yesterday and today, worked out pretty hard, so he is able to go, but they would love to be able not to have to use him and to have him ready for Northern Iowa on Monday night. Another 2 more days of rest would be very beneficial. Southern with it, leading by 9. Drake has gone back into the zone now. Shaw out at three-point range. 15 on the shot clock. Salukis kind of standing around, nobody's moving. Mullins had a three, didn't take it. Tony Young will pop up, three, no. Rebound, but Stewart try to stop his transition. All the way over to the other side, and Brooks. And Southern has weathered that brief transition storm, and now Mullins will try to get Stewart into double team. There it is, out to Cox. Short jumper, no good. Tip, Heemskirk. And now Stewart off the glass, no. Heemskirk, no. Grant draws the foul from Jamaal Foster. And once again, Southern getting beat on the offensive boards. Drake coming out of the timeout with a little bit more energy.
Can't win too many games, Mike, if you give up this many offensive rebounds. Southern's fortunate to be where they're at right now, up by 9.
And that's Foster's second personal foul. So Jamaal has 2. Tony Boyle's going to come back into the game as Nick Grant will shoot a pair. He nails that one. Here's the sequence underneath the basket. And there's Grant deciding, when do I go up against Foster? I'll go now and draw the foul.
Not much Jamaal could do right there, right behind him, and he just got fouled. Grant's free throw.
Grant makes both free throws. It's back to a 7-point Saluki lead. Mullins breaks through the double team to Tony Boyle, and Tony couldn't handle the pass.
I'm not sure if Tony was expecting the pass or not. Mullins was going pretty full steam. He thought he was probably just going to take it up to the hoop and try and score.
Turnover back to the Bulldogs. They can get it back to within 5 or 4 with a 3. Calvin draws the foul, whether it's Tony Young. It is Tony Young. And Tony doesn't know what he did.
I believe that's his first tonight.
Second personal foul on Tony. And A.J. Calvin, the very talented junior college transfer out of Michigan, will shoot 2. Shoots him at a 70% clip. He nails that one. Clemens comes in for Tony Young, and Wesley's going to have to probably play the final 6:24 of the half as Tony sits down with 2 fouls. So it's 21-15. A.J. Calvin tries to convert both free throws, and he does. 21-16 now. Southern in the lead over the Bulldogs. Mullins again breaks the double team, gets it to Tatum. He's going to see a double team and a charge on Jamaal.
Well, Drake got one back. Jamaal took one earlier, and now Jamaal ran into this guy here. Nice job by Grant to take the charge.
And Drake is forcing the Salukis to play a little faster. And there goes Grant down on the replay. But they turn it right back over, and then they call over and back. So another turnover.
It's all right to keep that pressure up. They'll get more of those to come, Mike.
Chris Lowry telling J.D. Collins that he didn't like the call on the charge down at the other end. Bryan is back in for the Bulldogs. He'll work against Bryan Mullins. He traveled. Yes, he did. J.D. Collins called it. And Bryan has turned it over twice. He's played about 2 minutes. They need to keep Stewart in the game, but as fast a pace as they play, there's no way Stewart can play 40 minutes.
Not only as fast a pace, but as tough a defense as the Salukis play.
Mullins gets it to Wesley Clemens. Drake is backing it to the zone. Jamaal Tatum, a high arcing shot, no good. Off of Jamaal Foster.
Nice effort by Jamaal there, trying to get the board, but just didn't work out there.
5-point game. Southern hasn't scored in a while. It was 21-12. Drake has had 4 unanswered points. Calvin really got way out of balance there. Here comes Wesley Clemens. Doesn't draw the foul.
Thought he was going to get fouled, braced himself, and he just couldn't lay the ball in there.
And a foul on Bryan Mullins at the other end. And Chris Lowry talking again to J.D. Collins. Can't believe Clemens wasn't fouled at the other end. And then Bryan, as Wesley just missed the lid, thought he was going to get hammered and didn't.
Hesitated a little bit because he was expecting that hand to come over, try and block the shot, and he hesitated a little bit too long.
Mullins now with 2 fouls, and maybe we are going to see Austin Brooks. 5:22 left to go in the half. Already in the bonus is Drake.
Looks like Tony Young's going to come back into the game, Mike.
As is Stewart. As is Jonathan Cox. So Bryan Mullins goes out. Randal Falker's going to come back in as well, as is Matt Shaw. So the Bulldogs have cut it to 4. It's 21-17. And Grant will try to convert both. Hits them both. And now Leonard Houston is into the game, and Drake has played everybody on its bench.
6-0 run here by Drake, Mike.
There's a pass to Matt Shaw, 3-on-1 to Tony Young. The layup is good.
There's the way you beat the press. Just throw 2 passes. And usually if you just make 2 passes, you're going to beat that press and score.
23-18, Dogs back up by 5. Cox, top of the key. Turns it over. Tatum turns it right back over. Jamaal was in no man's land. Leonard Houston takes it the distance.
Tatum got a little worked up there. He should have just pulled the ball back out.
And another turnover by the Salukis. And Chris Lowry wants timeout.
Salukis playing a little bit out of their tempo right now, Mike. They need to just calm down, take their time right here. Take a look at right here at this nice lay in there.
That's Houston getting Drake within 3. And Dr. Tom Davis has the Bulldogs playing at the tempo they want. And what they do is with that constant pressure, they force you to play quicker than you want to play. And they force you to make plays you don't want to make. And Southern's last 2 or 3 trips, aside from the layup that Tony Young got, have been pressure-packed trips down the floor.
Right. Southern just needs to take their time, get the ball back to the top of the key, reset their offense, and just take their time here. I mean, there's no rush here. You got 4.5 minutes left in the game. It's not like there's time winding down in the half. Southern led it 21-12, so Drake is on an 8-2 run. It's 23-20. Stewart blocked. Southern has a run out. It's Tony Young. Lays it in. Nice job by Tony there, getting the ball. getting the layup right there.
Update from Wichita, 7:18 left to go in the first half. Wichita 20. Missouri State has come back. It's a 2-point game, 20-18. It's a 5-point game here. That's Houston with it. Top of the key, and Sean Brooks.
One thing I've noticed about the freshman Jonathan Cox, Mike, he's not afraid to shoot the ball.
Nope. Heemskirk to Tracy. Around the wing to the baseline, and Stewart. Back to Cox. No, rebound, Tony Young. And when Southern gets his defense set, Drake just flat doesn't score.
That's right, they play such tough man-to-man. I mean, you've heard the fans here crying for fouls during the game. They just play such tough defense.
25-20, just ahead of a media timeout. Drake in that zone. Tatum to Clemens to Tony Young. Baseline, favorite shot, no. Shaw, no. Gets it again. And is fouled. And that Shaw will go to the free throw line. And he's mad at himself because he probably should have dunked the one and just tried to lay it in. Tom Davis not happy with it at all. And Matt Shaw, when we come back, will be shooting a couple of free throws. 25-20, the Salukis in the lead. We'll come back to Des Moines after these messages.
Join us Monday at 7 for our next telecast of Saluki basketball as we continue following the Dogs on their 3-game road swing. We'll bring you all the game action, updates from the sideline, and a special halftime report. SIU versus Northern Iowa, Monday at 7 on WSIU Public Television.
Some interesting stats so far early in the ball game. Drake shooting only 28.6%. They're 6 out of 21. Salukis are almost 48%, 47.8. Southern's 11 out of 23. Drake is 6 out of 21. Drake is 7 out of 7 from the free throw line. The Bulldogs have turned it over 10 times. The Salukis have turned it over 7, and 3 of those were in the last 5 trips down the floor. So Southern had been doing a decent job of taking care of the ball. I thought Shaw was going to shoot free throws. They called it on the floor, so Southern will get the ball in a new shot clock. Shaw on the baseline. Swing it around to Tatum. .18 on the shot clock. Tipped away. Nice play by Heemskirk. Stewart's going to take it all the way to the hoop. No good. Tip up by Heemskirk. No. Now Shaw has a run out. And he walked with the basketball.
Went for the jump stop there and went a little too far.
Tatum probably shouldn't have passed it. He's faster than Matt, and he could have beat the defender to the hole. And Matt, I don't think, was looking for the pass. But once you get it, you got to score.
That's right.
Turnover number 8 for the Salukis. They lead it by 5, 25-20. There's Grant to Stewart. Heemskirk, who tipped that ball away in the lane on the last Saluki possession. Tracy gets it to the hole and scores.
Nice job of just penetrating and putting up the shot, getting the shooter's touch roll.
Shaw kicks it back out. Wesley traveled with the basketball.
Very uncharacteristic Saluki basketball. Lots of turnovers here. 2 traveling calls in a row.
Here's Tracy with a nice move around Matt Shaw to score those last 2 points. And that is turnover number 9 for the Salukis. Jonathan Cox back in. And the Bulldogs can tie it with a 3. 2 minutes left to go in the half. There's Cox. To the right side, it's Grant. Tracy to the corner. Boy, he gets all out of position, and an offensive foul on A.J. Calvin.
Nice shot by Wesley Clemens, just sticking in there, just like Jamaal Tatum did earlier.
Calvin gets in the air, and he has nowhere to go. That's twice he's done that.
One thing they teach you growing up, even in elementary basketball, never leave the ground unless you're going to be shooting.
It's his 2nd personal foul, so that's a turnover for the Bulldogs. That's 11 now for them. Shaw gets it to Tatum. Jamaal will back it up. Southern leads by 3. No. Shaw fought for the rebound.
This zone really looks to be working against the Salukis right now, Mike.
Tatum's going to come out for Bryan Mullins. Jamaal has 2 baskets in the game. Stewart way out to Grant. Tatum is 2 out of 6 from the field. Sean Tracy with it. Spins. Nowhere to go. Shot clock down to 6. Grant. Oh my!
What a play by Grant right there. Behind the back. He lays it in. Gets the throw. That was amazing, Mike.
25-24. So Southern's 9-point advantage is now down to 1, and we're 35 seconds and counting here in the first half.
This is what happens when you leave teams in games. The crowd starts getting back into it.
13 on the shot clock. Pick from Falker. Way high, no good. Rebound to Wesley Clemens. Jump ball, it'll be Southern's ball. Salukis will have it for the final possession of the half.
Southern just needs to reset here, look for the good shot, try and take the final shot of the half, go into halftime and regroup. They really don't look like themselves right now, Mike.
Mullins comes in for Tatum. I like the way Wesley crashed the boards on that. To Randal, out to Bryan Mullins. You see the clock at the top of your screen. That's what's left in the half. Tony Young, a long 3. Keita with it. And Southern has the lead at halftime. It was 21-12. And Drake outscored the Salukis 12-4 down the stretch to take it back to within 1. So at halftime, the Salukis lead the Drake Bulldogs. It's 25-24. We'll have our halftime features for you when we return to Des Moines after these messages. Oh, I've got Chris Lowry. Go ahead.
Very tough first part of the game here. You had a great first part. Second half was a little sluggish. Seemed like the full court press starting to work on you. What can you do in the second half?
We got to be patient. We don't have to push the ball and rush it and have unforced turnovers. We just got to take care of the ball, take good shots.
And lastly, Coach, it seemed like there was a little bit of foul trouble going on. What are we going to do in order to kind of prevent that? It looks like the referees are calling a little too much.
We just got to play without fouling.
Thank you very much, Coach. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Chris. I apologize for not getting here quicker. 25-24, Salukis in the lead. We'll have our halftime features for you when we come back after these messages. With Matt Bierman and Chris Hagstrom, I'm Mike Trude. Back in Des Moines, we're at halftime. It's 25-24, Salukis in the lead. About a minute 15 before we tip things off in the second half. First half, statistically, the Salukis shot the ball very well, 11 out of 26, 42.3%. They held the Bulldogs to 31%, just 8 out of 26. Turnovers. Drake had 11, the Salukis had 10. Rebounds, Drake has 17, the Salukis have 16. Drake, though, has 8 offensive rebounds so far in the ball game. Salukis have committed 10 fouls, 4 players with 2. Drake has committed only 5 fouls. A.J. Calvin has 2. Southern is 2 out of 11 from 3-point range. Tony Young has 1 and Wesley Clemens has 1. Drake is 1 out of 6 from 3-point range. So aside from the shooting percentages, this game is about as even as it can be, and it shows that way on the scoreboard, man. It's 25-24 Salukis, and Drake's going to start the second half with a basketball. So we'll see what happens here in the second half. Southern started out this game very well, getting off to a 9-2 and 21-12 lead, but slowly let the Bulldogs back in when they didn't take care of the basketball.
Didn't take care of the basketball, and I'm sure at halftime Chris Lowry was just telling his team to calm down, play at your pace. But right now they're playing at Drake's pace. You can't do that if you plan on winning on the road.
All right, we'd like you to watch the newest addition to our local production lineup, WSIU in Focus. The weekly program covers public affairs, local history, arts, and issues important to viewers in Southern Illinois. WSIU in Focus, Fridays at 9 on WSIU Public Television. The next program will feature a recap of Governor Blagojevich's State of the State message and the third part in a continuing series on the Wilkinsonville Cantonment. We are underway in the second half. Jonathan Cox kicks it to the right side and to Grant. Top of the key, it's AJ to Grant. Looking for a cutting Stewart. It's down there, and Bryan Mullins comes up with a steal. Very nice job. Read that pass perfect from Nick Grant, and Drake commits their 12th turnover. Jamaal Tatum, wide open three, and a wide open three it is.
Nice way to start the half, get the steal at the defensive end of the floor, and then Tatum drains the three.
Jamaal now 3 out of 8 from the field. Kick it to Cox. Grant has it stolen by Bryan Mullins. To Jamaal Tatum. Wide open, Mullins for 3. Yes, no, just a 2. Had his foot on the line, they say. But Southern starting quickly again in the second half. And immediately Tom Davis wants a timeout. This will be a full timeout. A full timeout. The Salukis lead it by a score of 30-24, and Tom Davis immediately juggles the lineup.
That's right, a completely different team coming out here in the second half for Southern. Starting off very well, getting the steal, 2 steals right off the bat in their first 2 defensive sets.
Well, as Chris Hagstrom talked to Chris Lowry at the end of the half, Chris Lowry said, we've got to be patient. We've got to be patient. Thus far, Southern's taken care of the ball on its first 2 possessions, gotten a 3 and a 2, gotten a turnover, and forced Tom Davis to call a timeout, just 1 minute and 7 seconds into the second half, and the Salukis are back up by 6. This is a game where if Southern doesn't have a stretch of poor play, I think they can come away with the win.
That's right. I mean, they weren't blocking out very well on the defensive side of the ball earlier in the first half, so Drake got many more opportunities than usually teams do against the Salukis. If Southern can, not do that in the second half and really rebound well and block out, and I definitely don't think Drake has as good of a chance to win.
Salukis play Monday night at Northern Iowa. You can see the game right here on WSIU television. And then a week from next Thursday, the Salukis will be at Missouri State in a 7:05 tip-off. Support provided by the SIU Alumni Association. Members can receive free admission, hot dog and a soda at the Saluki women's basketball game against Drake on January 21st by presenting their alumni membership card at the arena entrance. Call 618-453-2408 for more information. The Saluki women played this afternoon at Wichita State. Dana Eichenberg's team lost by 9, 66-57. With the loss, the Salukis are now 6-9 overall, 2-4 in the Missouri Valley Conference, currently in 8th place in the league. Missouri State went just ahead of the Salukis with the win today. We are back to action now. That's Jacob Barronbrook, who came in and drained a nice 3 in the first half in about his 5 minutes of playing time. Houston is in as well. Brooks to the corner and Cox.
All the Saluki defenders have been about a foot away from their players at all times.
Cox will shoot the 3, no good. Big rebound. Lost out of bounds, knocked out by Randal Falker, and A.J. Calvin did a nice job going up to get that offensive rebound.
That's right, and you saw Falker there pointing to himself saying it was his fault. He should have got the board.
Cox kicks it all the way back out to Houston. The corner and Calvin. Around the horn it goes to Houston. Nothing open on a backdoor cut. Swinging again to Calvin. Jumper from the elbow is good. A.J. Calvin has 4 points.
Nice way to just pop the shot right there and get the one going. He averages about 11 points a game, Mike.
Very nice distribution of the basketball. They took their time, and Calvin knocked it down from the elbow. It's 30-26, Southern in the lead. Drake back into the zone defense. Falker with it. To Tony Young in the lane for 2. A Again, the lane is wide open against this zone.
I don't think they're expecting Tony Young to be in the middle of the key either, Mike.
Tony into double figures now with 11. Tony's going to pick up a foul, and that'll be his third.
Tony did about all he could do there. He had his hands straight up, but they called him for blocking.
So to the free throw line will go Leonard Houston.
Tony Young is third. Leonard Houston at the line, shooting 2.
Tony doesn't look very happy right now.
Drake will bring in 4 players, and Wesley Clemens will check in the lineup for the Salukis' next opportunity. Shot from Houston is no good. 6'1" sophomore out of Holland, Michigan. Heemskirk, Alou Kita, Stewart, and Nick Grant come back into the lineup for the Bulldogs. Salukis lead it by 6, 32-26. Tony Young sits down with his third personal foul. Second free throw by Houston is good. He's got 3 points. Gets it into Jamaal Tatum. Schools Houston bringing it up. Then Southern sets up the offense against Drake's zone. Down to Matt Shaw. To Falker, good, and a foul. Alou Kita is going to be called for that foul.
Nice look right there, getting it into Falker, and as you see right there, he just backs up and he lays the ball in, gets the foul, going for the old style three-point play, Mike.
And Randal does not complete it. Salukis lead it by 7. He had Kita backed way underneath the basket. All Kita could do is foul him, and there's a travel by Stewart. Turnover number 13 now for the Bulldogs.
You can kind of start to feel Salukis trying to start to take over the game more now. They're up by 7 now.
Their biggest lead was 9, 21-12. Tatum brings it up to the corner, and Mullins. Salukis being patient. They've been getting layups. Kick it over to Wesley Clemens. 15 seconds on the shot clock.
They've really been working with Falker, trying to get him to roll off screens.
Tatum, wide open 3, no. Tipped out by Shaw, but he tipped it right to Houston. Somebody's got to guard Stewart. How about that for a layup?
Right over Falker. Falker is going to make him work for it. He got it.
Nobody picked him up. 5-second call. Wesley's got to get the ball in.
Now the crowd's starting to get alive back into the game again, Mike.
34-29. Another turnover by the Salukis, and there's Stewart with a really nice layup.
That's right. It's hard to lay a ball over a 6'10" guy.
Bulldogs turn it right back over. They tried the bounce pass to Kita. Tatum just barely gets rid of it. Mullins to Clemens. Falker for 2, strong to the hole.
He's been a huge presence down low tonight, Mike.
He's got 9, Dogs up by 7, just ahead of a media timeout. Southern has come out and started the second half very well. They led it 25-24. Stewart, nice crossover. To Heemskirk for 3, no. Shaw all over the boards and fouled by Houston. And Matt went down hard on his back, and that's the back he injured earlier this year. We have a media timeout on the play. 15:30 left to go in the first half. We'll be back to see how Matt Shaw is right after this. Welcome back to Des Moines. The Salukis have started out well in the second half. Lead it over the Drake Bulldogs 36-29. Hey, First Cellular of Southern Illinois, a local company committed to making a difference in the lives of families throughout Southern Illinois, and a proud supporter of Coach Chris Lowry and the Salukis. First Cellular, the official wireless provider of Saluki Athletics. They say, go Dogs. Let's go over to Chris Hagstrom now. Chris, you have a report on Matt Shaw?
I sure do, Mike. Actually, he went out, tried to talk to the trainer a little bit. He was, looks like he had his teeth around his T-shirt. His back was hurting him. I don't know the severity of the injury yet, but it looked like he was having some back problems. We might see him back in the game. We might not. I'll get a report for you as soon as I can.
All right, Matt Shaw did go to the locker room with Saluki trainer Ed Thompson. So Jamaal Foster is going to have to come in and depth.
That's something that the Salukis don't have much of.
No, they don't.
They've had 8 guys pretty much playing the whole way, and now they lost a big part of those 8 guys and Matt Shaw. Now they're down to 7.
Wesley Clemens to trigger it. Dogs lead it by 7. Lob it to Falker. Ooh, Southern just did come up with that ball. Almost a foul there on Jonathan Cox as he tried to punch the ball away from Jamaal Tatum.
Yeah, pretty aggressive.
In the zone now is Drake. Wesley up top. To Wesley Clemens on the wing. Mullins wide open, didn't shoot it. 7 on the shot clock. Bryan's got to do something, and he throws it away.
A little miscommunication there. Jamaal thought he was going to go. Bryan thought he was going to go to the other way, but Jamaal went the other way and turned the ball over.
Zigged when he should have zagged. Turnover for the Salukis, leading it by 7, 36-29. Stewart, boy, he can get to the hoop, but a block
what a nice
by Falker. How about that block by Randal Falker?
So get that out of my house.
Stewart penetrated through 3 dogs, but he couldn't get through the biggest dog. Clemens with it to Tatum. Back to Wesley. Falker lays it in. The lane's wide open for Randal Falker.
It's 11 points for him now, Mike.
Dogs back up by 9. That matches their biggest lead of the game. 38-29. Falker on the day is 5 out of 5 from the field. Oh, a steal by Jamaal Tatum. Can he keep it? No. What a great anticipation.
Nice job being aggressive there by Tatum. He just couldn't quite get the handle on the ball to lay it in down the line, but good aggressiveness right there. This is what makes this Saluki defense, what gives them such a good reputation.
Saluki head coach Chris Lowry really happy with the way Southern's come out to start this second half. Stewart. Sean Tracy. Double team. Nowhere to go. There's a shot clock violation.
That was
turnover by the Salukis, and the Saluki bench is up and applauding. The Bulldogs had no idea how much time was left on the clock.
And that was a nice shot by Jamaal Foster switching over to double team there. That really forced them to go back around.
They'd almost forgotten that when they got the turnover, or when Tatum knocked the ball, they thought they got another 35 seconds. They didn't. But they seemed to believe that they had a lot more time than they had because they were surely not hurrying. Jamaal Foster with it, can't hang on. He's got to be stronger.
Yes, he does.
To the corner. Blocked by Randal again and rebounded by Jamaal Foster.
And that's the kind of inside presence you can get with the big man. If he could just even make you alter the shot like he did right there, that still counts as a block in my book.
38-29. He may have got a piece of it. To Mullins. Boy, the lane is just wide open.
I saw you using flashing their guards through the middle of the key there all day.
There's Jamaal. Wide open, top of the key. No, couldn't get that one to go. We had a really good look at it. Stewart to Tracy. Way off. Air ball.
Another offensive rebound.
And a turnover. Bryan Mullins just stripped it. Oh, look at Stewart. And one.
If you're going to foul them like that, you got to make sure they don't make the basket, Mike.
Sean Brooks stole it from Mullins, then went right at Jamaal Foster, got the bucket and the foul. And that's 3 fouls on Jamaal. And watch, a real nice pick by Brooks.
Nice job right there after Mullins just got the steal. Goes down, and Foster just needs to at least take him out so that he doesn't get that ball in the hole right there.
Brooks free throw is good.
It'll be interesting to see if when the Salukis come down on the offensive side of the ball, if they really look at Falker. He's really been dominating down low. They should give him more looks.
7-point game. 7-point game, and Chris Lowry says, slow it up, take your time, get a good shot. Here's Jamaal. Matt Shaw's back on the Saluki bench. .15 on the shot clock. Palmed it. Turnover by the Salukis. We've come to our second media timeout of the second half. Salukis lead at 38-32, 11:59 to go in the game. We'll be right back. Here come the Bulldogs with it. That's Adam Emenecker into the game. The Salukis lead it by 6. Cox over to Grant. Austin Brooks is into the game for the Salukis, number 4. His first action in about 3 games. Hurt his groin at the Indiana State game. Austin knocks it out of bounds. And the Bulldogs will keep it with 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Wichita State pulling away from Missouri State up by 18 with 17 minutes to go in the game. Shot clock down to 10. Emenecker to Grant, pull up, jumper, no. Rebound tipped up, 3 Salukis battling, and finally Tatum comes down with a rebound. Well, you didn't want a situation where all 3 tip it to a Drake guy, huh?
That never looks good.
No. Tony Young, corner, back in. He's got 3 fouls. Nice play by Tony. Randall's got to be stronger on the passes. 16 on the shot clock. Nice pass to Tony Young. Ooh, Tony wanted to pull the trigger, but didn't. Tatum wide open 3, no. Foul on Jamaal Foster.
SIU now 3 of 15 from beyond the arc, Mike.
Foster has 4 personal fouls. As Matt Shaw comes back into the game, it's still a 6-point game.
And I think normally Tony Young takes that shot when he was open, but he's 1 of 6 from the field today. Usually he shoots 40% from beyond the 3-point line.
And Jamaal had a good look too, just didn't go down. And Tatum's shooting woes continue from outside. Emenecker. Oh, they called the foul on Randal. Yes. Foul on Randal Falker. Just his first personal foul, and Emenecker will go to the free throw line. He is a 71% free throw shooter. He's hit 10 out of 14 on the season. He'll try to bring the Bulldogs back within 4. He gets 2 shots. 6'1" sophomore, backup point guard. Missed it. Alou Kita entering back into the game for Heemskirk. And quickly back into the Saluki lineup comes Tony Boyle for Randal Falker. Randal will sit out a few minutes.
Coach Lowry really likes Tony Boyle, Mike. He says he's got a nice inside presence, real physical.
And he's playing better without fouling the last few games. Shot is up, and he missed them both.
Didn't look like Boyle got physical enough there, though. Kita got the rebound.
They called a foul on the Salukis. I think they called it on Tony Young.
4, isn't it?
Oh, Tony Boyle, okay. 35.
After you just got done, so he doesn't foul much. He gets a foul.
Kicked by Tony Young. 10:44 to go in the game. Salukis lead by 6. Dr. Tom Davis directing some traffic on the inbounds play. Brooks to get it in, does. Shot, no. AJ, no. Kita, yes.
You have to think Matt Shaw is still hurting right now. He didn't block out. They got 2 rebounds over Matt Shaw right there.
Tony Boyle with a nice job to come get it. It's a 4-point game. Closest they've been since halftime, when it was 25-24.
This crowd's back into it, Mike.
Falker's coming back in. Down to Tony Boyle.
Salukis need to penetrate a little bit and kick one out.
Tony, short jump shot, good. Tony Young hits it, he's got 13. That quiets this crowd just a little bit. 6-point lead.
Good job by Tony there. Not getting it done from beyond the three-point line, but he gets it done there.
Brooks goes in, knocked away by Jamaal Tatum.
Nice way to strip the ball there. You had 4 Salukis.
1 on 4, you're right. Absolutely right, man. He went 1 on 4 into the lane. You're not going to get a call for that.
No, you're not.
Austin Brooks playing some pretty good minutes. Austin for 3. No way long.
Got a little anxious there, Mike. He was wide open.
Three-pointer way off. Rebound to Shaw. Stolen by AJ. A bucket and a foul.
Calvin and Keita have just been killing the Salukis on the boards right now. Southern just can't find an answer. Falker's coming back into the game, Mike.
And there's the replay.
Just can't
AJ
quite
Calvin
out.
got the bucket. He'll try for a three-point play. The foul was on Austin Brooks. His first. And AJ will try to pull Drake to within 3, and he does. It's 40-37. Randal Falker just got elbowed on the rebound in his mouth by a Lukita.
Bryan Mullins, number 14.
I wouldn't want to get elbowed in the mouth by Keita either, Mike. He's a pretty big guy.
And J.D. Collins says, just watch the elbow, son. And Keita says, okay. 40-37. 3-point ball game. Mullins double team. Walks. Yep. Walks with the basketball. 3-point game.
These are the kind of careless turnovers you can't give, Mike, especially on the road.
Drake can tie it with a 3 or get within 1 with a 2. And this is their run. It's a game of runs. Mullins guarding Stewart. Not an easy job with as quick as he is.
No. Not easy when a big guy like Keita sets a screen on you.
Into the corner. Sean Brooks with it. Jumper. No foul call. Shaw rips the rebound away. Possession arrow goes to the Salukis.
Salukis got a break on that one, Mike. You got a body on him, but they didn't call it. Maybe that was a makeup for Keita elbow and Falker in the mouth.
How did Chris Bryant not get a foul called on Wesley Clemens on that jump shot? Wow. Game's getting physical, folks. Knocked away. Foul on Clemens.
I think Chris Lowry has to call a timeout right here, Mike. His team looks a little frazzled right now. He's just got to get them regrouped.
3 fouls on Wesley Clemens. 1-and-1 opportunity. And to the free throw line will be Chris Bryant, a sophomore out of Alaska. And another good free throw shooter. As Clemens comes out. Mullins back in. 8:46, a long time to go in this game. And the fouls are mounting up for the Salukis.
Not good when you only have about 8 guys that can really play and you're getting a lot of your guys in the foul trouble, Mike.
Bryant, shot, good. It's his first point of the game. It's now a 2-point game. It was a 1-point game at halftime, 25-24. A Lukita, they're watching his elbows.
I would too if I was Matt Shaw.
Second free throw is up and good. It's a 1-point game again. We're back to where we were at halftime, 11 minutes and 14 seconds ago.
This crowd is on their feet now, Mike. Tom Davis hoping Drake could get the lead.
Southern breaks the pressure. Back it off in the zone, and Southern needs a basket in the worst way. Tatum alone. Jump shot short. wide open jump shot by Jamaal.
Been there all day. He just can't make him go.
Bulldogs can take a lead. Calvin with it. Foul by Randal Falker.
Tough call on Randal there. He put his hand up in his face. He got called for the foul.
We've come to our third media timeout of the ball game. The Salukis clinging to a 1-point lead. We'll be back after this. Just got handed a note from Mike Mahon, the sports information director here at Drake. The Salukis have committed 17 turnovers, which is a season high already with 8 minutes to go in the basketball game. Drake has committed 18 turnovers in the basketball game. So Drake has still committed more, but they're forcing the Salukis to play the way they want to play. And A.J. Calvin is at the free throw line with a chance to give the Bulldogs a lead.
That's right, Mike. Been a sloppy game so far. Both teams turning the ball over a lot. See if the Salukis can't grind down here and get some defensive rebounds. Not let Drake get so many offensive rebounds.
Drake is out rebounding the Dogs by 8, 29-21, and they have 14 offensive rebounds. The game is tied. Drake leads. 41-40. Mullins double team. Falker knocked out by Sean Brooks.
This is the first real road trip for the Salukis this season, Mike, and it's definitely showing that.
Starting tonight, they play the first of 3 games. Monday night at Northern Iowa. Next Thursday at Missouri State. Falker double team, calls timeout. Chris Lowry calls timeout. Good call, because Falker was double teamed in the corner with nowhere to go. 30-second timeout. And the Salukis have committed a season-high 17 turnovers and now trail for the first time in the basketball game, 41-40.
Not very Saluki-like basketball, turning the ball over, and really it's a good call by Chris Lowry there to call a timeout. It's never a good situation when your big man's in the corner. That's where your guard's supposed to be. So way to get regrouped there by Chris and just try and get the guys back out there, get something going.
To show the effect of the turnovers, the Salukis are shooting 58% in the second half. They're 7 out of 12. Drake is shooting 5 out of 15. But Southern can't get any shots in the second half is the problem because of the turnovers. Bryan Mullins has 6 turnovers, and that ties his season high.
Offensive rebounds combined with the turnovers definitely don't help.
The Salukis worked out yesterday here in the Knapp Center, and they were working against the pressure, going 5-on-7, trying to break the half-court pressure. And they were successful most of the time, but in the game itself, everything speeds up, and Southern needs a bucket in the worst way. Jamaal, shot clock down to 9. To Tony Young, 4-3, misses.
They've had the shots, they just haven't been able to make them fall, Mike.
Bulldogs try to add to the lead now. Southern needs to defensive rebound. To the corner and Stewart. Back up top, Bryant. Stewart again. Shot clock down to 10. Here comes Stewart. To the corner. Charge. Charging foul on Chris Bryant.
Nice job by Matt Shaw there. It's the 3rd charge that the Salukis have gotten today.
So Drake still leads it by 1.
And that's huge because they can turn the ball back over and SIU can go back down and try and get the lead back.
Nick Grant is back in the game. Here comes Tony Young.
At this point, I think they're either looking for Tony Young or Jamaal Tatum to get open to score here, Mike.
No question. Staying in that zone. Been very effective here in the second half. Salukis 7 out of 13 in the second half. Still above 50%.
Salukis need to penetrate a little bit here and try and kick the ball back out.
Nice kick out to Tony Young. Short jumper, good. Tony gives the Salukis back a lead. He's got 15 points. It's 42-41.
Hopefully Tony begins to get some of his range back there. That's the second shot from around the baseline that he's made like that.
No. Oh, a real late call against Jamaal Tatum. His second foul is going to send Stewart to the free throw line with a 1 in bonus. Here's the pitch to Tony Young, wide open from 15 feet.
Nice vision by Falker. Dishes the ball out to Young, and he just nothing but net right there, Mike.
Stewart, not a great free throw shooter. 45 out of 60 on the year.
Said at the beginning of the game, Young was averaging 16.8 points per game in the Valley play. He's got 15 tonight.
Stewart can give the Bulldogs back the lead. This is going to go right down to the wire, folks. Shot is up and good. Stewart has 8 points. Wichita State leading Missouri State at home by 18, 53-35. 12 minutes to go on that one. Stewart trying to give the Bulldogs back the lead. Shot is up and it's good. Barronbrook back in for Stewart, but it's going to be only for about a minute. I guarantee you that, because they can't win with Stewart on the bench. Bryan Mullins. And Southern sets it up offensively. Matt Shaw to Tatum.
Nobody's moving around. This is a motion offense. You have to move.
12 on the shot clock. Mullins walks with a basketball. That's turnover number 7 for Bryan Mullins.
Mike, we're seeing a lot of free throws here by Drake. They're 12 and 15 from the free throw line. Salukis just 1 for 3.
Chris Bryant checks in. Nick Grant sits down for the Bulldogs. Free throws huge in this game. 15-3, but that's what you get at home. Oh, stolen by Bryan Mullins off of the leg of Barronbrook.
What a play by Mullins right there, staying right with them, getting the ball to go off of him, and Saluki ball. That's part of the reason why the Salukis have been 11-1 since Mullins has gone to the starting lineup, Mike.
And look who's coming back in the game, Mr. Stewart. Mullins, they have a 3-on-1. Tatum scores and is fouled. Great job by Jamaal Tatum. Went down hard on his hip. Count the bucket. The foul on A.J. Calvin. And Southern goes back in the lead. And Tatum will go to the free throw line.
Look at Mullins right there. Nice vision. Dishes it off to Tatum, and he goes up. Takes a hard foul. Goes down hard. He still gets it to go, though.
Calvin undercut him a little bit. Jamaal's okay. He's going to shoot the free throw and try to give Southern a 2-point lead.
Jamaal's tough. He can take it.
5.5 minutes to go in the ball game. Tracy back in for the Bulldogs. Jamaal Tatum, very good free throw shooter, hits it. Salukis lead it by 2, 45-43. Drake is 1 out of 10 from three-point range. Salukis 3 out of 16. So this one's going to be 1 in the paint. Swinging around it, KJ. A.J. Calvin. Tracy. Tony Young backs off. Shot clock at 9. Nick Grant way out. Calvin, shot blocked. Controlled by Jamaal Tatum. Another great use of the shot clock by the Salukis. And Falker got a piece of the shot by A.J. Calvin. Now Southern needs a bucket. Tatum. Pick and roll, top of the key. Jamaal stepped out of bounds. You got to know where you are.
I think Drake knew kind of what Tatum wanted to do. Tatum was looking to dish to Young, and he was pretty well covered. Tatum already went too far and stepped on the line.
4.5 to go in the game. Dogs by 2. Here comes Stewart. Heemskirk was wide open in the lane and nobody saw him. Grant with it. Stepped out of bounds. Another turnover by Drake. And nobody can keep the ball in bounds. 4:07 left to go in the game. Houston quickly coming back in the lineup for the Bulldogs. They are substituting at will, and Southern looks like it's going to the house with these 5 guys.
That's right.
Shaw gets the inbound to Tony Young. Sean Tracy. Dogs lead by 2. A 3 would be huge if they could get it. Shaw up, misses. Had a good look.
I like that idea. Put it inside there, try and get them to do something. I mean, they've been doing well inside all day, the Salukis have.
Houston wanted to pull the trigger but didn't. And so they have to set it up. Great defense by Tony Young, swinging around the other side. Houston top of the key. He walked with a basketball, turnover, timeout on the floor. 3:28 left to go. This one is a close one. Salukis lead at 45-43. Can they win number 11 in a row? We'll find out after this. Drake has turned it over 22 times. The Salukis have turned it over 19 times. The Salukis are shooting 56% here in the second half. Drake 31%. Yet, at the free throw line, the Salukis are being outscored 16-2. That is the difference in the fact that Southern only leads by 2. Saluki basketball, and Matt Shaw is still a little gimpy on that ankle. Salukis got to get it in. They do to Matt Shaw, to Tony Young. Southern down the stretch in games has been really good, and he turned it over. Just as I say, they've been the best team in the Valley down the stretch. Turnover number 20.
Tony Young trying to do what they teach you to do, walk through 2 players and forgot to dribble.
Drake has turned it over 3 of its last 4 possessions. And they turned it over 4 out of the last 5 possessions. Wow. Nobody wants to win this game, folks. I do.
SIU's won 6 straight here, Mike, and it's in jeopardy right now.
They're leading it by 2. They need to make some plays down the stretch. And they generally have all year long. Young to Shaw, to Tatum, 11 on the shot clock, 2:45 on the game clock. To Mullins, 3-pointer. No. Oh, that would have been huge.
Salukis need to do more of that, going inside, kicking it back out. They haven't done that a whole lot this game in that zone, and that's how you get your looks when you're playing up against the zone, Mike.
3 for 18 from 3-point range. There's Heemskirk. 19 on the shot clock. 2:25 on the game clock. A.J. Calvin almost turns it right back. Falker knocked it out of bounds. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Both teams have 3 timeouts left, so that's not an issue.
Chris Bryant comes back.
Bryant comes back into the lineup for Nick Grant. Bryant to trigger it, goes way out top to Stewart. 13 on the shot clock. Stewart tries to split, kick it out, 3-pointer. Nobody's fouled by Tony Young.
And that's Tony's 4th, isn't it, Mike?
That is Tony's 4th, and he's sending a 93% free throw shooter to the free throw line.
That's definitely not good for the Salukis. Drake's already made 16. It could very well be 19 at the end of this.
Got him on the elbow. Sean Brooks he's made 1 free throw tonight. He's 42 out of 45 on the season. He just doesn't miss, and he can give Drake the lead. It's 45-44. He's got 2 more. The game is tied.
It's very routine for him right now.
Nick Grant came back into the lineup, and Drake can take the lead at the 2:12 mark. Shot is up. Good. Drake led 41-40. Southern gets it across. Just gets it across.
Bad place to pick up the ball right at half court.
Salukis need a bucket. Falker to Tatum to Young. Falker, Mullins, wide open. No,
just can't get it.
Won't go. 3 out of 19 from three-point range.
It's been the story all game, Mike.
Chris Lowry yells, "Don't foul, don't foul, don't foul." There's a push off, no call. They're letting him play. They're going to let him play. Timeout, Tom Davis.
And Mike, I'd like to remind you that last time there was a game played here in Des Moines, Josh Warren hit a shot with 13 seconds left in the game to give the Salukis the lead. They ended up winning by 1 point.
You're exactly right, and we thought this one might go down to the wire despite Southern's 2 leads of 9 points in both halves. It's 46-45. Let's reset it for you. 1:18 on the clock, 13 seconds on the shot clock for the Bulldogs. They now have 2 timeouts left in the game. They're putting Chris Bryant back into the basketball game. And that's where we are. Southern is not in the bonus. Drake's only committed 4 team fouls. The Salukis are over the limit. So anytime that they commit a foul, Drake's going to shoot 2 free throws. And Southern had a 2-point lead until Tony Young fouled Sean Brooks.
The refs have been calling a tight game today, Mike. They've been calling a lot of fouls. And since they've been calling a lot of fouls, it definitely doesn't benefit SIU, especially with their tenacious defense that they have.
No. Again, Salukis are 3 out of 19 from three-point range. So we'll see where this final 1:18 goes. We'll be back on the air Monday night against Northern Iowa, 7:05 from Cedar Falls. .13 on the shot clock. Salukis want to play good defense. A.J. Calvin with it to Mr. Stewart. 7 seconds left. He walked with the ball. Yes, he did.
Stewart doesn't like the call, but
there's no question he did. 1:11 left to go. Nick Grant back in. Houston, or Chris Bryant, sits down. Mullins with it. Here they're set up. Salukis need a hoop. You know they're going to give the 3 to people. Tatum, no. Good defense is what the Salukis need right here.
Need to bear down right here.
And if they play good defense, they can get a win with a shot.
Alvin driving.
Shot is up, short. Rebound to Shaw. And timeout Chris Lowry. Now remember, Drake has 2 fouls to give. Southern can get the last shot. 26.1 seconds left. Drake has committed 4 team fouls, so they have 2 to give. The Salukis can hold for the last shot, or at least hold the ball till there's about 6 seconds left. Hope for an offensive rebound, but offensive rebounds have not come easily this ball game. They've only got 6 offensive rebounds in the game. They've been out-rebounded by at least 9, maybe 8 in the basketball game. So we'll see what happens. Chris Lowry's been very good at drawing up plays. They're going to go against the zone. And this doesn't get more exciting than this on the road. Southern stole one last year when Josh Warren hit the baseline jumper. And that's the shot Drake gives you, is that baseline jumper. Tony Young's hit 3 of them in this basketball game. It'll be interesting to see how this one unfolds.
Yes, the way this game's going, you don't really know what's going to happen, Mike. They've been turning the ball over left and right. Doesn't seem like anybody really wants to win this game. Definitely a good game for fans.
No question. Following the game, Chris will have some words with Saluki assistant coach Brad Korn. Win or lose, hopefully with a win. The Dogs need a bucket.
And I think it's safe to say the fans here got their money's worth tonight, Mike.
Drake has Heemskirk, Grant, Stewart, A.J. Calvin, and Sean Brooks on the floor. I'm wondering if Drake will foul. That's the interesting thing.
If they can inbound the ball first.
There it is. Clock is down to 21. Mullins has it.
Doesn't look like they're going to foul him.
Not intentionally anyway. Tony Young in the lane. Shot good! 9 seconds left in the game. Timeout Tom Davis, 30-second timeout.
What a crossover by Tony Young right there. Crossed him over and got the huge shot right there. Clutch shot by Tony Young.
Game high 17 now for Tony Young. 9.3 left. Here it is. Oh, that was nasty into the lane.
He definitely, they say that would be what they call breaking his ankles, Mike. He broke his ankles there in that crossover. Got the clutch shot to go.
Here it is again. Young with 17. And nothing but the bottom of the net. So Southern's got to play defense for 9.3 seconds. Tom Davis had already used his full timeout. This is a 30. I got to think Stewart's going to penetrate and dish, but we'll see what happens.
Like we said, we have no clue what's going to go on here, Mike. Tony Young makes an amazing play right there. Give the Salukis the lead, 47-46.
I'll tell you what, I would want the ball in Stewart's hands, no question. Although he's turned it over a ton of times tonight as well. He's got 5 turnovers at least, because he turned it over right after the last timeout. Southern not going to guard on the inbound, I don't think. We'll see what happens. Mullins, Young, Tatum, Falker and Shaw, they've played the last 6 minutes of this game, maybe the last 7. Yes, they are going to pick up.
What a way to open up a road trip, huh, Mike?
Jacob Barronbrook is into the game. They've got 4 shooters and A.J. Calvin, and 4 guards and A.J. Calvin in the game with Brooks, Stewart, Chris Bryant. Here we go. Barronbrook, Stewart. Stewart almost lost it in the backcourt. He almost lost it again. He turned it over! Oh. He turned it over! Chris Bryant handed the ball
coming up
to Tony Young. They're going to check. I'm sure they're going to check to see if there's any time left. J.D. Collins says there's no time left, and the Salukis escape with the victory, 47-46, as Chris Bryant turns it over as the game ends.
Tony Young stripped that ball right there, Mike, coming up huge on the offensive side of the floor, down at the end of the game, and on the defensive side.
And Southern, who led 25-24 at the half, wins the ball game 47-46. They are now 6-0 in Missouri Valley Conference play, 13-3 overall, and an unbelievable final finish by the Salukis. Chris Hagstrom now has Brad Korn. Chris, take it away.
Thank you very much, Mike. And Brad, I got to tell you, at the very end here, it was almost a barn burner, if you will. We have the Salukis down 9.9 seconds. We get the last shot. What were you guys putting together in those last 30 seconds?
We just tried to create and get in the gaps. We knew they were going to come out in the zone and try and keep us extended, so Tony just took them off the dribble, made a play.
All right, now also in the entire game, we had some foul problems as well as we had some issues actually getting the shots into the paint. What do you think was the biggest issue for the Salukis not getting into the paint?
It's just probably their zone, just the way they play. They pack it in. You know, they try not to let you get in gaps. We got stagnant. We held the ball on the perimeter, pass, and took a 3.
What are the Salukis looking forward to? You got Northern Iowa coming up. What's the game plan?
Game plan is rest. We're going to get on the bus and drive over there tomorrow. We got a bunch of stuff to go over. They run a bunch of things. You know, it's all about hard on the road, and we'll see what we got on Monday.
Coach, congratulations, Saluki victory. We look forward to seeing you in Northern Iowa. Mike, back to you guys for this Saluki victory.
Thank you, Chris. 47-46 the final. We want to tell you that support for the program comes from First Cellular of Southern Illinois, by Old National Bank, by the Southern Illinois Collegiate Common Market, Saluki Central, The Furniture King, Vogler Motor Company, Tres Hombres, Banterra Bank, the SIU Alumni Association, 710 Bookstore and Saluki Connection, your area Anheuser-Busch distributors, B&G Venegoni Distributing, Golden Eagle Distributing, and Venegoni Horel Distributing, LLC, and by SI Cosmetic and Family Dentistry. The Salukis put 3 players in double figures. Tony Young led the way with 17 and the winning basket with 9.3 seconds left, and then Tony Young with the steal on the other end to guarantee the victory. The Salukis now 13-3, 6-0 in the league. Drake drops to 10-8 and 3-4 in the league. What a game.
An amazing game, Mike. What a way to start off a road trip like we were talking about. I mean, Drake made sure SIU knew they weren't going to back down. Just like last game, it came down to the final seconds. Young got that shot to go with 9.9 seconds left in the game and comes up huge again. 3 steals on the night, and that third one was huge.
Let's check out the winning bucket for the Salukis and then the defensive play by Tony. I think we have the final defensive stop by the Salukis. Here it is. And he just dribbled it off his own leg right into the hands of Tony Young. Shaw and Mullins never touched him. Unbelievable finish. The Salukis, again, for the second time against Drake. Drake does not put a player in double figures. For the second time against the Bulldogs, they scored less than 50 points in the ball game. A phenomenal defensive effort by the Salukis, and they've earned this one. They're 13-3 and 6-0 in the league.
Mike, there aren't many games that you win when you make 2 free throws and the other team makes 16. SIU just found a way to pull this one out, and that's the mark of a good team, a really good team. When you can find ways to pull games out when everything's not going your way, that's the mark of a good team.
No question. Want to inform you that Mystery will air in its entirety following our broadcast this evening. So all of you Mystery fans, hang on. You'll be with it in a moment, and we will show it in its entirety. Want to thank our crew. Fabulous job tonight from Des Moines. They're on the road now tomorrow morning up to Cedar Falls, as we will bring you the game with Northern Iowa Monday night, 7:05 from the Unidome. And it's been a very tough place for the Salukis to play, but they'll savor this one tonight. Again, led by Tony Young and 2 other players in double figures. The Salukis win it by a final score of 47-46. For Matt Bin and Chris Hagstrom, I'm Mike Trude saying so long from Des Moines.